Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. This week again, we are making it free. So if you're watching this video on YouTube accidentally or for the very first time, you may want to watch more of my videos. You would like them. And if you don't understand the method, please watch more until you get a grip of it, because it's called wave analysis. It's looking at precise patterns and the way they behave, and then we take advantage of those. So keep looking, and I know a lot of the traders who've been watching it for the last 4 or 5 years really love it. A lot of them are joining our group finally after being watching me for 4 years or 5 years. They finally made their decision to join the group. If you want to know anything about our group, send me a Skype message. You can find the Skype in the description, and you will get access to a group. Very short. I'll just leave you with one single thought of why you might want to join our group. The people who troll me and hate me the most actually said something, and this is a quote. Nobody in this group wants to criticize him because they're afraid he would throw them out of the group. Unquote. They're afraid they will be thrown out of the group, including the troll. He's in the group. He actually bought the course twice, because I kicked him out the first time and then he bought it under another name. I can't figure out who, but I know he's in because a few things he posts, people tell me. I don't watch his site. I don't read him. People will send messages to me and said, hey, he wrote this about you. Well, he's in the group to get those messages, right? He copies stuff from our group and posts it. Ask yourself one question. Why is he not leaving the group if the group is so bad and I am so bad? If I'm not good at what I do, why are people afraid to be kicked out of the group? As a matter of fact, I was in a group once and I didn't like what the guy was teaching. I was not afraid he was going to kick me out. I actually paid him for a year and left in 6 months. In my group, you're not paying to stay. You have lifetime free access. It's voluntary. It's free. You can leave anytime you want. But the troll has given you the true message of the quality of the group. People are afraid to be thrown out of the group. That is what the group is. That tells you everything you need to know. The guy who hates me the most personally thinks my work is so good that he is not leaving the group, and everybody else is afraid of having have to leave the group or being thrown out of the group. So you want to know whether you should join the group? Listen to him. He's telling you the quality there is very good. The atmosphere is amazing. We have very good people in it. And we train you to trade. We're not selling courses. We train you to trade. We make you professional traders. So you decide if you want to join us. Let's go. I'm going to go very quick because I've done the whole week, and today I need to do it very short. So not much change from yesterday, but I'll go through and show you the few changes. Dollar index, still consolidating, which means we're still looking for the possibility of it coming down. Now the consolidation right now is in some kind of a B phase. We'll probably see this today. And then we'll probably look for downside. We're consolidating, which means we're looking for downside. Temporarily, you might get a short buy in it. That depends on your skill level if you want that buy. Silver, it pulled back a little, very deep. And this pullback now could be the start of an impulse to the downside. Remember what I told you about silver. If you go back, watch the webinar, we need to break this top, and then we start looking for sell setups. Yesterday, there was a 15-minute sell setup, so we didn't take it. Some of my traders took it, and they probably got out of it for break-even because it didn't go. What I'm waiting for is a 1-hour correction, which is something similar to this. So by the end of this webinar, I would have a sell entry on this one. If this is the first impulse down, let me take this off. If this is the first impulse down, and this is just a correction, I would be selling somewhere here or somewhere here. I'll be in the sell to the downside. That is what I would do, because I know how to manage those trades. If this continues to go up and break the top, I would wait for an impulse, wait for a correction, and I would sell. I am not interested in this buy anymore. We took this buy. I'm not interested in a buy here today in the silver. It can go 1,000 pips up. It can probably go $200 up. I'm not interested in a buy in silver. It's very simple. We're using a specific method that is looking at specific patterns, and then we decide that this pattern has to behave this way. If it behaves that way, we're in the trade. If it does not behave that way, then we are not in the trade, and I really don't care what happens with it. Right? I'm not going to catch all the moves in the world. I do over 60 charts a day. One guy went to look at my webinar for a whole year, and he said, okay, you didn't get a DAX right. I'm like, dude, did you miss all the other charts? because there's a lot of good ones that you should have got. So if I miss one or I'm off at one, no big deal, right? And actually, he's wrong because I got the DAX correct. I'll even show you. So I don't know where he got that from. He was a little early, immature, and premature in what he does. I hope he's not like that in his life, right? So be careful. Watch the time frame we do forecasts on. We do forecasts on all time frames, daily, long-term, short-term. So watch them and don't make rash decisions. Trading does not allow rash decisions. So we're looking for a sell. I told you this was going to go up. It went up. I told you we're looking to sell it from the time it started to go down here. And we're looking for the sell setups. So if this drop, we will be in it. If it goes up a little more, I don't care. We did buy it. We can take those short trades. We took profit off, and now we're looking for sells. Gold, we bought it 2 days in a stretch, and we were trying our luck yesterday, but it didn't go. It was just in consolidation, so we didn't get the buy. It's now going, but I'm not trading. I was asleep. I just woke up. It's 6 a.m. in the morning here. So I'm not in this trade, and I don't think I will jump in that trade right now. I can see it going up. It will probably go a little higher. I will not get into that trade, so I'll just wait. Either it consolidates here and then we buy. It either consolidates here and we buy, or it starts to drop, and then we might consider a sell for a deeper correction or even retesting of the low. Gold does not have the same structure as silver, so I'm not expecting this to drop. If it drops, we will see if we have setups to sell, but it's not the same structure. It is a different structure. Now, it could go down if you look at it as a channel, which means if you're looking at this piece as a channel, then what will happen is they'll make a spike here and then start to go down. See this one? They made a spike and then start to go down. See this one? They made a spike and then start to go down. So if they repeat the same thing here, you'll probably get a spike first and then we'll start to go down within this channel. And that is a possibility. We will watch for that possibility and we'll decide whether we want to sell maybe later today. We normally do that in the New York session. So let's see if we get that. Go to the 1 hour. Let it go up. I'm not quite interested in that trade right now. If we get a consolidation here, maybe I'll take it in the London time. Euro. Euro looks like it's going to be a sell. I think it's a really good sell. You can see that. Now, you may want to take the sell because if you look at the pattern it's forming right now, this sell could drop really sharp back to this level. Right? This was the buy. Remember this buy? Go back and look at the webinar that day. You'll see that buy. A lot of my traders got that trade. I think they should be out. They're either out here, they got back into that. They should be out because this is looking very nice. It could either be like this and they go back up, or it could come all the way to here and then we probably still go back up as a flat. Right? There are many possibilities, at least 3 possibilities that I can see. I showed you 2. I'll keep 1. So the art of using wave analysis is that what it does, and the difference from Elliott wave theory, which is, by the way, wave analysis, something that I totally created. So you see anybody with a wave trading thing in there, it came from me. It's different from Elliott wave in that we don't say this is the correction ABC and we're going to go up. We're saying what are the possible patterns it can make. Now you're going to hear a lot of people repeat this exact word. What are the possible patterns it can make? Give me all the possibilities, and then if this one, then what would I do? Right? That's the huge difference, because if you say that the chart is going to make an ABC or a WXY and then it's going to go there, then you're assuming that the chart will do exactly that. You're kind of saying that this is all it can do. And we are saying, no, this chart could do many variations of those patterns. It could be simple, it could be complex, it could take a week, it could take a year, it could take 5 years. If you're trading the 1 hour, it could be within 3 hours, it could be within 10 hours, it could be within a week. And you'll be still in the same consolidation, which means the pattern that it's creating could get more complex. So we look at the patterns, we study them, we understand every pattern, we understand how they become complex, we understand whether we should be in that trade or whether we shouldn't be in that trade. How would that pattern behave? It's all about recognizing the pattern, understanding them, and learning them. That is the major difference. So you would see very often I would give you more than 1 possibilities, because what we do is called forecasting. And by forecasting, you're seeing what you have and what can become of that. What is it doing now and what it can do? So if you look at this piece, all you have is 1, 2. What can that do? It can make 3 and go up because you're going up. See? 1, 2, you make 3 and you go up. But at the same time, because you have 1, 2, 3 here, it could actually drop way back to beyond this low. That are two possibilities. And both of those are very likely to happen. But only one of them will happen. So the question is, okay, which one? What do I care? Both of them starts to go down. So I will take the trade and I'll manage my way out. We have got strategies how to get the hell out of it if it doesn't, if the first version happen, which means if it only drops like this and go back up, we have to get out of this trade. And we actually got out of trades like that yesterday. I will probably show you two of them that didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but we got out. One of them for positive, one for about small loss of about 4 pips or 5 pips. Trades that we were in profit in, but didn't go. So I'll show you them. Watch this euro. We're looking for a sell. Pound. Pound made a spike. That is where you have to watch. Be careful of that spike, because now if I get a flag, I'm selling. And I mean a flag here. Any flag here now, I will be in the sell. Not only in this pound, but almost all the pound pairs. That could be the turning point. Let me show you something on the daily. I just showed it to my traders in the trading room. By the way, we are in the trading room right now. I'm recording this from our trading room. I want to show you this piece. I want you to see the way this pattern went up. And go back and find my charts on TradingView at that time, or find my recording on YouTube. Go to YouTube and find my recording at that time. And you would hear me say, you know what, guys, this looks corrective. It doesn't look very impulsive. And even if it is an impulse, it's very slow, which means if you're going to continue to go up, you would have to have a correction here before you go. It will have to go sideways quite a lot, which is, I wasn't even thinking about that part. I was thinking about this part. This part will have to go sideways like this before we consider it to be an uptrend. People were saying you're crazy, especially when this happened. Trolls came in and said, oh my God, he's so wrong. This thing is going up to heaven. And he is telling us this is a correction. Well, correction means it's going to come and break the low. See what happened? Now, even that is wrong, because it turned out it's not a correction. It's actually, it could be a very slow impulse, right? But the point that this would be proven an impulse only if we get this. Now we have this. So there's a chance that this is a slow impulse. And the reason it was so slow is because it is making a bigger corrective pattern. You get this. What are the chances this one come back and retest the low? And you see that stretch, that final stretch. Remember, this is going very slow, and then that final stretch up. Look at this final stretch up there. Drop it. If I get a sell set up here today, I'm all in. So that's me. I don't know what you would do. I'm telling you what I would do. Now, I will still be careful that it could give you this and still make a new high before they come down or before they go sideways, right? But it might not do that if we consider this to be the flat. That means this is going to drop, and this is what we call the squeeze, when it goes up very, very slow, break the top, and then start to fall. As of now, I'm looking for a sell setup on the 1 hour. So go back on the 1 hour. If I get a flag here, and I would likely get a flag there today or tomorrow, I will be selling this. Just remember that. I'll keep you updated every day for the rest of this week, and next week you'll start to get the weekly ones. Aussie will come back down. It will probably come back down here. We'll keep an eye on it. And if we get a flag, if it breaks this low and make a flag, I will sell. Until then, I'm not going to be selling it. I'll probably still look for buys in the Aussie. I'll still look for buy setups, because Aussie, this was going to go up and it went up. It break the top. It hit the 270. That's where we're looking for our targets. And now we'll see what happens. From that point, it could come down. Not necessary. They might just make a deeper correction like this. And if we get this, we'll continue to buy. So let's see which one we get. New Zealand broke this top. So we still have the option of thinking of two things. One, do we have two contracting flats in here? Or is it going to come back here and still go? Right? It could make a running flat here and go, or we consider this here a contracting flat, and we consider this a contracting flat, and that would be perfect within the patterns. So whatever happens here, we'll see. As you can see, yesterday it was a buy setup. There were two buy setups in it. One was a possible buy for this to become a 1, 2, 3. That happened, and then it pulled back. You got 1, 2, 3, and then you take off. Now it's reversing. And by reversing, I mean it's likely could go down for a big impulse, which means if we get a flag somewhere here, if they drop lower and we get a flag here, we will sell. But if they stayed and consolidated at the top there, which means within the next 5, 6, 7 hours, we can continue to buy. We will consider it a more long drawn out running flat, or we'll accept that there are two contracting flats in there. I don't like contracting flats, so I don't forecast them. Right? We don't forecast contracting flats. So I'm more inclined that it's going to come down, which means I'm not just selling like that. I need a flag. Once we get the flag, we will sell. Swiss is a little strange. I didn't think this one was going to be a running flat because this had a very small correction. Normally running flat has bigger corrections. So we were looking for a sell here yesterday if this was going to go down. At least come break this low and then go back up. That didn't happen. It didn't go there, and it went up. So the earliest you can get a buy was at this point. Now, when we saw the sharp move up, the earliest buy you would have got was this one. That is where you get a buy into the situation. But that was already my night. I told my traders, those who are going to stay on, if you want, you can buy it there. Watch it when it breaks the stop, which means you put it to break even and see how far it goes. Because this turned out to be most likely like a running flat. It's not the best running flat, not the one I would forecast. That is more of hindsight. We look at it and say, well, yes, we can see it now. But at the point, and that is mostly because of the sharpness of this one, this wave up, right? There's also a very small flat inside. So it's still open whether it is a running flat, but that's the only option I can see. Nothing else. So what we would look for is that running flat might turn out to give us still a bigger running flat. We were looking for this to make 1, 2, 3, and then go. That leaves it open that we still have a sharp wave here. And that means at some point we might get this and continue to. But if you get a flag here, you buy. If you get a correction, you buy. This could happen much later. Right? That could happen much later. So any buy setup we get in this, we will take the trade. Because this impulse could come much later on the chart. We've seen that, and I think I've shown you yesterday a number of them. Either in the Aussie or in the New Zealand. So go back, watch that webinar, and you'll see it. So this will become a running flat because we've got a big flat here. That means at some point you will get a running flat. CAD is one of the trades we sold yesterday. So we bought yesterday and didn't go. So I'll tell you, it was a short trade. We got this correction and we wanted it to break this top. And then it took off. It didn't break the top and it starts to go down. So we were not wrong about the pattern. We were just wrong about where we think this one is going to go. This correction was a good one. If you go into 15, you'll probably see it was a 15-minute trade. So we got in on the entry here on the break of this. It went up and it came back really fast. Our stop is always under the low, either under this low or under this low. What we said is once this stop and pull back, if it pulls back, get the hell out of the trade. Because they always go in waves, right? This is your exit strategy. So that is where we exit this trade for this loss instead of this loss, right? See the difference? Now we'll be looking for this to still go back and look for buy. This was a short sell. I don't think I wasn't even there when that happened. I just woke up. So whoever was there, they sold it. I think they got out. CAD, you don't want to sell the CAD now. And I keep saying that traders sometimes, like people who are immature will come and say, oh, he said he didn't sell it and it goes down. Well, why you want to sell at the bottom here? This is the bottom of this impulse. And you want to know why that is the bottom? Look at the previous impulse. Why are you trying to sell at the bottom there? That's a waste of time. You're just going to get your account lost eventually if that's where you're selling. That's where you start looking for buys, right? When you're at the bottom here, you're starting to look for those 500 pip move up, not for 20 pip down, because 20 pip down is not worth it. Because you would start sell from the top there, not from the bottom. Now, you might get 1 or 2 good trades. There were 1 or 2 good trades, but every buy situation you get from the bottom here will be a very good surprise, and you can get 10 to 1, not 1 to 1, because you might get in a trade, and if it's going to make a surprise spike, it will go in the direction of your trade. So this was the first impulse down. I think at this level, I'm not keen on selling it. I'm keen on looking for buy setups. That's all. Now, if I don't get in the sell, that's okay. If there's a sell setup like this 1 hour and I'm not in it, that's okay. I'm not really worried about it. We got some nice buys on this one. We got some nice buys there. We got some nice buys from this one. We're going to be looking for more buys because we're at the bottom of the structure. That's all. If it makes a flag here today, and we saw this flat, we were trading that flat to break this top. take that trade, and then we were expecting it to go down. So maybe from this here, we would look for a sell, but not at the bottom here, which means if this goes back up today and we get a buy setup like this again here, we will buy. See, if you get a buy, this one go up, make a buy, you get that, you take that trade, and then we will see how far up it goes. If they consolidate here, instead of going down, if they consolidate here, well, you can consider a sell. It would be a sell setup, but I would take about, maybe tomorrow I'll tell you about it because it will take a couple hours. Yen was another one we bought. So the entry was here. See this one? Tagged us, pull back, came here, take it out for break even. You take it out for break even because the trade didn't go the way you expected it to go. We're still looking for buys in the yen, which means now I don't have an entry for a buy as yet. At some point, this is going to come back here. See that? 1, 2, 3. And this becomes my buy setup. So unless and until this comes back here, I don't have a buy setup. What could be another buy? You may say, well, why did you exit the trade? Well, that is the right thing to do because you're not always expecting them to go break this top. Once you get a sharp wave like that and you got to pull back, you close the trade for break even and you wait to see. So what you're going to wait for now is if this is going to be a running flat, they'll come back here and then that is my trade. We've seen a lot of these running flats. If it doesn't become a running flat or it will be an extended running flat, the only time I can buy here is when I get a flag, right? If I get a flag here on a 1 hour or 50 minutes, I'll consider the buy. But most likely I'm expecting it to do this. And then this becomes my trade setup for the upside. Now, would it break out of this structure? I don't know. They can still make one more down. Look at the bigger structure. See? They can probably just come here, come back here, go there, and still drop one more. I'll still take the trade, and then we'll see how we manage the trade, right? They can come one more. But if this becomes more than one more down here, then this becomes more of a corrective structure within this whole one. So it's going to be 1, 1, 2, 3, come back here, and then go. I'm not expecting that big pattern to form. I'm also not expecting them to go retest the low. We're breaking out of the structure and we're consolidating at the top of the structure. Now, if all of that is a little complicated for you, please go watch a lot of my webinars because I may be speaking fast and I'm talking, kind of language that you might not be understanding in terms of this is doing that, it's making flat, and then we're expecting it, it's consolidating at the top and all of that. You may want to know what top he's talking about. What I'm talking about is we've got an impulse here. And we're at the top of this one. And instead of dropping like this, we're consolidating here. That means we're going to likely break out, right? So some things might be a little complicated for you. You might not even understand what I'm saying. And that is okay because you haven't been trained to do this method, right? When you get the right training and you follow the right people in the right group and you do the right thing, you probably get it. You need the knowledge before you can understand it. I'm not expecting all of you to understand everything with all the patterns, but keep watching. You will eventually get quite a lot. So watch this here. We're expecting it to pull back. They do that very often. And then we're looking for that trade up. That's the plan for today. Let's see if that plan plays out. If it doesn't play out, we'll relook at it tomorrow and I'll tell you what's the plan for tomorrow. CAD-yen. So I told you two things yesterday, right? One is that this might be consolidating here for one more downside. That's one plan. We had a sell set up here, ready for the sell. That didn't happen. I also told you this could be a flat. And this could go up because we are watching 1, 2, 3. We're watching this piece for a running flat, and it could go up. Now, I'm not interested in that buy. Even if I was there, I wasn't there when that happened, but even if I was there, I would not have taken the buy because I'm looking for the sell on the CAD. I want this to start to drop because the big risk to reward and big move is to the downside. So go on the 1 hour. Once that top is broken, and I think we just tagged it, I will start to look for sell setups. That is what I've been doing from this one, and I will do the same thing here. We'll look for sell setups. Can this spike all the way to the top there? Yes, it can. But I don't know that now, and I'm not going to be risking on something just because there's a feeling or there's a guess or a hope. I don't trade hope. So let it go without me, and we will see something else that we can buy or sell. There is always something else you can put your money in to make money, right? You don't have to take this one. And by that, I mean you can put your money in the Swiss yen. See? We told you we're selling the yen pairs. We're selling the Swiss yen. There was only one yen pair we were buying. That's the Aussie yen. And I'll show you that one. That played out amazing. So we sold this. I got taken up for break even. Yesterday I sold it. I'm keeping it now because it dropped very nicely. I didn't move that to break even because I assumed they'll come back to my entry point, which they did. We were in the trading room when that happened. They came back and I told everybody I'm going to hold out with my stop here because I believe they'll just do this. We saw that correction and then they're going to drop. And that's what they did. I'm expecting a correction here today. And if they do, I'll sell again. I'm still in the sell. I'm keeping them for a longer term because I showed you there are bigger trades in play here now. The first one I want to exclude is this running flat, which is when it comes to this level, there's a chance they can go back up. That's where I'll start moving my stops very tight because from that point, they can go back up, especially if I see signs that they're going to go back up. If not, if they don't go back up from there, which means this is not a running flat, I got that wrong and they're actually going to go down. And this piece belongs to something here. That means we are going to break this low there. And I will try to keep the trade for as long as possible. So let's see. Go back to the 1 hour. And you don't have to worry with the CAD yen when you can put your money in this one. It's the same trade. You just choose the one that go. So this one went, okay, I'm selling this. Forget about the CAD yen. Euro yen, same thing. Forget about it. We didn't trade it because it's doing this and it's a consolidation. So you can look at it two ways. This is a contracting flat. That's what we said yesterday. And this is going up. It's going to break the top. I'm not interested in that trade. Or this is still in the B wave and we're going to drop here. And I'm not interested in this trade because this will go back up too. Right? So nothing here is interesting to me. Skip that one. New Zealand. This one, we told you there's a possibility they can go up a little more, and they're going. There was a flag here. They're going up a little more. I didn't see this buy setup because this happened just now and I wasn't there. But this could have been a buy because New Zealand dollar is going up a little. Or you can choose any other New Zealand trade that has a better buy setup. But this one could go. We're still expecting one of this move down very soon. It's not happening. There's no signs, so you're looking for buys for now, temporarily. Short-term buys. If you take the buy, you get in. This is a sell. We look for more sells, which means I'm expecting them to consolidate here. And we look for more sells. There is only one single trade that doesn't have the red. We're looking for buy. That is the Aussie yen. I showed you that trade. We have an entry order there. Some of my traders are in that trade. They should be taking profit now, right? Waiting for another flag and then get in again. Now, it does make small consolidations and then continue to go. See this small one here and see that small one there? See this consolidation? See this, they make small consolidations. So you have to decide you're going to live through one of those small consolidations or take your profit, let the consolidation happen, and then get in the trade again. Let it do this, and then go again with the next one. See? And so are all the CAD trades. So are all the Aussie trades. Up, Aussie Swiss up. Every flag you get, every correction you get, you can buy. Aussie CAD up. Aussie CAD just broke out, so it's probably making a smaller consolidation here. Maybe still go, right? If you took this and you got break even, no big deal. Wait for another flag, then take the trade. If they come back lower, I don't see them potentially coming back lower, right? Or just might be a bigger consolidation. So if the trade doesn't go, you will get out of it, right? If you took this and it doesn't go, you get out of the trade. Aussie, New Zealand, stay away from this. Could it be they're trying to go down from this point? Let's see if we broke the top. No, we haven't broken the top as yet, so I doubt they're going to try to go down from this point. They will at least break that top before they start the downside. Could it be we're in this piece making a more complex consolidation here? I don't know if I see signs. If I see sell setups in this, the sell thing tends to go faster. If I see sell setup, who might consider the sell? Because there is a big move to the downside. So if we start to get sell setups that make sense here, we'll consider it. But if not, if they're just making consolidations for upside, we wouldn't be in any trade. It could be they're still just making more consolidations for upside. Euro New Zealand. That's a good drop. That's a good sell. Some of my traders took that trade. They might have been taken out here for break even on this up one. I don't know, but there was a flag here to sell. How far can this go? It will just go a little more, and then we're expecting the upside, right? I think I showed you just a little more. You can still expect to go, especially if you get a consolidation. If you get another consolidation here, today you can sell, take off the profit because at some point it will start to go back up. I mean, we're at that point now where we could start to go back up very fast. But these are sell setups. Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss is breaking out of this structure. So that means it's going to become a running flat. I think this was more of a surprise because we were expecting this to come here first and then go. So now that they've gone up to the top there, what you're expecting now is this pattern, right? I don't think that this pattern here is a contracting flat. That is unlikely. So you might expect a running flat, which means you get something like this. This one would probably come back here and then go. Very often this sharp wave is followed by another sharp wave before they go. So most likely it's going to be a running flat. Maybe in this chart I can show you one of those running flats. Here's a good example. See, they broke the low. They did this, and then they go right back up before you go. But the low was broken, right? Just like the top here is broken, see? So I wouldn't be surprised if they go back. There's a number of them. You will see them all over the place, actually. There's a lot of running flats in this structure. Here is a very good one. This one might be the one you're looking at. So you've got a sharp wave down, and then you get that crawling up. See, they're followed by a sharp wave before you go. That is a running flat. Most times the buys you get in there are break-even trades. They don't go anywhere. In this case, this was the problem, this sell. But this turned out to be a surprisingly strong move up. If you get corrections, might be still considered they can still go on for a while, so might still be worth to buy. Euro Oz, sell setups are still there. We will keep selling. Go to the 1 hour. You're getting another sell setup here. You're getting another sell setup. This drop, it's pulling back. Wait for a little flag here. Sell again. EuroCAD, we don't see the reversal there as yet. If it starts to happen, you wouldn't get the sell, and then we look at it. EuroCAD might be an interesting one. We had an entry order for a buy. It didn't go. It came down a little. Didn't even break out. So once they break this low, we'll still look for the buy. It will be more of a running flat pattern, right? Which means you'll be expecting this, if they break the low here, to go back up and do this one. That's what we're looking for. A running flat like this to the downside. It could also be that from this point, they go way to the top because the bigger structure is upside. So if this is a correction of its own, I don't think it is. If it is correction of its own, then this would just break this low and then go back up to the top there. So one out of those two will happen, but the upside is very, very likely. To the downside, well, there wasn't a sell setup. So if you try to sell it, I don't know how. There wasn't a setup for me to sell, so I can't sell it. I still don't have a sell setup. So I'll be looking for the buy on it. Euro-Pound. Euro-Pound was a good sell, actually. You see this one? So two things you should, yesterday, I think I explained that in the room. When they break out of these structures, they'll break two-way out. They'll either break out this way, consolidate, and you buy, or they'll break out this way, you consolidate, and you sell. I actually explained this a number of times in a few webinars where I was showing you. I think I explained to you one time there was a post on Twitter where one guy was explaining a chart. When the chart went like this and it started to do this, or I can't remember exactly what was it. And he had an arrow like this with an arrow there, and he had his line like this with an arrow here. And somebody made a post, very popular person, not going to use the name here, said, when you post a chart like that, I have more questions than answers. And I said, well, I have the answers to your questions. And this is exactly the answer to the question. When you get a pattern like this, they have to break out, make a flag. So you would put an arrow there, an arrow here, sell. This is your sell. See that sell line? That's a sell setup. Or they would do this. They will break out like this, make a flag here, and then go. So if the person is posting from here, he would post 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. Either would be the sell, because in a pattern like this, both of those possibilities exist. So the person doesn't watch me, and I don't want to go and make a post like that. I don't want to go explain under his Twitter account for that, but that's the explanation for it, right? So if he ever sees this video, or if you saw the post, send the video to him with that piece of explanation, and he will, next time he sees a post like that, he would understand what it means, and he will have answers to his questions, right? In rare patterns, it doesn't happen all the time, but on patterns like these, when you see them, they're rare. They're either running flat or they're an ending channel. They have to break out of the structure one way or the other. then it drops. At this point now, when you're reversing, that might be start of a reversal. If we get a flag here today, we look for buy setups. Now, can it be a sell? Well, if it is going to be a sell, you would have to watch this do something like this. Go back up and then look for the sell. So you can go with this buy first, and then you will get the sell. See? So by all means, first you need to get a buy setup and then get a sell setup. Now, the buy could also be the buy because of the start to the upside, a big start for the upside. We're still expecting this to go back up somehow. So we'll see. Pangos. Pangos is going back up, and that is normal. So if you took this trade here, right, you might have closed it already for break even, because if you put it to break even, they came back and take you out. So that would probably be a break even trade, and that's okay. Look for another buy setup, because they can come back all the way to this top, maybe even break out of the top. This might be more of a consolidation to come back to this top, right? If this is going to go, look for another flag and then look for this trade up. So you get another flag, you get a trade. On New Zealand, we will get a sell setup here today, finally, because this very likely will break to the downside here. So the trade you would be looking for would be this. Let me just move them a little. Would still be this one coming to this level. So this entry order comes here. We will be selling. We have an entry order. We'll just change the point. I'll be having an entry order here for a sell. Or if it makes a flag, two things. Either the entry order or we get a flag here and I sell the flag to the downside. Once it comes here, I will be very careful in moving my subs very tight, because two things would happen at that point. One, it is going to break out. It's going to break out of the structure. The second one is they're going to stay in the structure, go back to the top again. And we just continue doing what we're doing. See? But the sell setup is a trade for today. I'll probably pose this out as a trade of the day. Would it go? I don't know, but that's a good trade. I actually like it. And I update these trade of the day, what I will do with it, right? So I'll follow, I'll post it, and then I'll post in the comments what to do. So you may have to keep it open to see the comments on it, because the comment will be within the day. They're valid for a day or two, and that's it. This will be valid only for today, right? So when you get it, you'll have to be careful to either, take the trade or leave it alone. It's up to you. I'm just giving you my views and the trade that I'll be taking. Pang Yen. Pang Yen made a spike up here too. Very similar. So everybody becomes right at some point in time, right? And most people, I like how everybody now is making forecasts that it's going to come there, right? Suddenly everybody now sees that forecast. Well, I still don't. I do tell you that it probably could go there once we break this structure, but before it go there, you make a pullback. This would confirm that up move. If you don't get that pullback, then you can't confirm the up move to the top. They always pull back before they get. So at some point, you would wait for a pullback. So is it now? Let's go to the 4 hour. Like again, you didn't have to buy the Pang Yen. You can go buy the Aussie Yen, or you can sell the Swiss Yen. So there are options. I saw this. I saw the Pang Yen. We saw the buy setup. I still didn't buy the Pang Yen, right? We saw this buy setup. We saw this buy setup. See this one? There was another flag here probably in the 1 hour. That was a good buy setup. But I don't know. I don't know that they're going to spike like that. I still don't know. If I was here, I still wouldn't know that. It's going up really slow, so I'm not interested. Now, there's going to be a lot of guru coming out today and tell you how they got that trade. Well, I was asleep when that happened, so I didn't get it, and I doubt any one of them got it, but they will come and tell you. Some of them will even do this. And I see this hindsight thing that I hate when people do it, but hey, they do it. They'll come and they'll put something like this in the chart, and they say, I put a stop there and I got a target there. And look how perfect it worked. They'll put that on their chart, hindsight, and show you that's our trade yesterday. And I'm like, dude, really? Isn't that a little too overselling, over amateurish? That's your trade yesterday? Okay. Good luck trying to get that, following those traders. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't get that trade. There was a buy setup. I was asleep. I don't know if you were awake. If you're in the Asian session awake, you probably put an entry and get it. But what they did do the previous time you put an entry here, you got this piece. What did it do the previous time you put an entry here? You got a break even if you're lucky. What did you do when you put an entry here? It came back and it took you out for break even. Why did you think this time it's going to do this? See, just give thoughts to what people are saying. Why, if 6 times you got break even, why do you think this time it's going to do that? You're a magician? Well, if you are, then congratulations. I am not, so I don't like to do magic. I am very consistent with what I do. I don't do magic. I did not trade this, but I told you the ones I trade, which is the Swiss yen, and if I was trading another one, would be the Aussie yen for the buy. Right? We showed you the Aussie yen. That would be the one you buy, not the pound yen. So the Aussie yen, because it has a very consistent setup, and we know what that setup does. This one had a setup for a buy, but we saw what it did previously, and say, well, it might not give you that much move. If it reverses from this point, it might be a bigger correction because we broke out of the structure, so it might just be a bigger correction starting. If they consolidate here, and by consolidate, I mean something like that, not a very small one. If you get a very nice well, then you can continue to buy. This would probably give you another impulse that is equal to this because now you're getting large impulses. So you might get this one. You might get it, and then that will be worth the buy if you get it. Punkat, this was the trade of the day, and it's still going to go down. Let me just repeat this structure again to you, what we're looking at. We're looking at this structure, and regardless of whether they break that top or not, they are likely going to do this. Right? They're likely going to do this and then go, because now it will become a running flat. All it tells us is that this structure here will make a running flat and then continue to go up. That's all the information you got there. It's not going to heaven. Right? Now you may say, again, you're saying it's going to go, look, it went up a little, but this is a 10 pips compared to the trade you're looking for, right? So remember silver? Let me go to silver and remind you guys. Remember what happened when it broke that top? Everybody thought silver is going to heaven. I'm like, no, it can't go to heaven. We don't have a structure that says it's going to go to heaven. We have a move down. We have corrections. And even breaking that top means at some point it has to come back here before it goes. They drop, they're making consolidations, and we're absolutely sure we're going to get that. There's a very, very high probability, there's a 99% probability that this trade would come back here before they go. I don't think we'll break this low because we broke the top. Because we have seen thousands like those. So we're looking, we told you this was going to consolidate. Once this drop, it's going to consolidate, and we would look for this trade. So let's see if we get it. You can follow it. You might still see that happen. And then you're going to start to understand why these patterns work like the way they work. Because they're telling you what they're going to do. So go back to the Punkat. And the same, the break of the top. It's the same pattern, very similar pattern. Go back to the Punkat and look at the break of the top of this one. This is your impulse down. So they broke the top. Big deal. This is the trade you're looking for. So let's see if we get that. This is a correction within 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We told you this one was going to go back up. So the same thing. Let's see whether this happens. Come back to the 1 hour again. We saw the buy setup not there, but we saw this buy setup. This buy setup happened while I was asleep, so I wasn't there, but that was a buy setup. If you take it, I would not have taken it because I would thought they'll do this again. My thought process was they would only do this and then go down. Right? Now, there's still a chance that this could be a running flat. We spoke about that yesterday, that this might just come back to about this level and even make a new high before they go. Now, because they make that spike, I think unlikely. This might be just a small correction of its own. This is a small correction of its own. That's a small correction of its own. So now if we get a flag here, we're selling. I will update this chart today. If I take the sell, and I'll update it under the chart that I post previously, under the recording I post previously on YouTube, showing you what I would do. So it's already making a 15 minutes flag. But the 15 minutes flag, you have to be careful because you still have to keep a stop above this stop, which means this flag could get bigger than it is, right? This could drop like this and go back like that, right? And then go. So if you're going to take this, you have to be careful how you trade it, knowing that it could become a bigger correction. The bigger correction is the best one. If you get a 1 hour correction, that would be the best one. But if you're an aggressive trader and you know how to trade and you know how to manage your rate of trade, this might be a good trade. We're looking for a sell, and I'm still looking for a sell. And I'll probably even trade the 15 minutes. Let me see what time I finish the webinar and what I manage to get. If I miss the 15 minutes, I'll go for the hourly. correction. Let's go. Pound Swiss. If you wanted to buy something with a pound, buy the pound Swiss. I repeat this every single day. If you wanted to buy something with a pound in it, buy the pound Swiss. So if you bought the pound Swiss yesterday, congratulations, you made a ton of money. You didn't have to buy the pound yen or the pound CAD or the pound anything else. You buy the one with the highest probability. That's the pound Swiss. So let's go back and show you why we think the pound Swiss was a buy from all the time. From this point, from that point, because you can see them, right? This move was a bit slow, but once they get here, you see that buy because we said they can come back to this level. See the magic of the arrow? Way back to that level. This one was showing you the clear vision of what we think it can do. So if you have 3 options and you have to buy something with a pound, just buy this one. Forget about the rest. Who cares what the rest are doing, right? So look at this one and said, I like that. Now they have to talk to us. This is the point where we're going to find out what's happening with the pound. Not exactly the line itself is irrelevant, but there's somewhere along before they break this stop. They have to tell us, are we going to come back down here? Or are we going to just make a consolidation and continue to go? So this is the point where we will know. And we will either start to get a consolidation very soon here, right? We don't have any divergence, so that is no clue. It's no divergence in that whole move up. So it's not giving you a clue for reversal, which means they can get a big correction and continue to go, right? So wait for a correction and you can still buy this, right? If we get a flag or a correction here, mostly a correction, a flag is already out. If you get that, you can still go. If they come deeper and then do this, we will still look for buys. You'll get sells, you'll get buys, you'll get sells, and then you'll get buy. But we will see this big pattern, and then we'll be looking for much longer term upside because you're breaking out of the weekly structure. See? Pretty easy. It's not that complicated. So New Zealand Swiss, that's a buy setup. We will still get more buy setups. You had a buy setup here, and you're probably going to get more flags to buy. Buy the New Zealand Swiss. Let's see, New Zealand CAD, also a buy setup. You're actually getting a breakout right here now in this structure. Wait for a flag here. You're getting a flag. This is a buy. See, they broke out of this structure here. See, they finished it. They broke out flag, flag. Those are buy setups. You're going to get a buy setup here. If we get the buy setup, if you get a flag, that's a good buy. CAD Swiss is at the top of this structure. It moved up a little. We thought they'll fall from somewhere here, but it moved up a little more from this point. I was expecting them to come down from there, but they broke the top of the structure. That's all. At some point, this thing would have to come back, right? You're looking at the top of the structure, not the bottom. You're at the top of the structure, and I thought, well, they will make a 1, 2, 3, which is a 1, a 2, come back for a 3 here, then go. But it looks like we broke the top. So if you break the top, what you get is a 1, a 2, a 3, and then you go. Right? So you're looking for a running flat pattern in here. You think they're going to come back? Look at the top. Here is one of that example of that one. See that move up? Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They came down. See this downside? It didn't break the low, but it went up back before it come down. So if you take that pattern and you turn it upside down, you take this pattern, turn it upside down, right? This is where it's coming from. This is where it's going. This is your first move down. That's your first move up there, right? You had a smaller one in here. We were ignoring that smaller one. Look at this one because I'm showing you this big correction. I'm showing you this big correction. See that? So I thought this one would go down here like this one went up from that level without breaking the low. But it doesn't matter that they broke the top because even if they broke the top, they still come back here and then go. See? They went back up there. If I was here and I was telling you, if you look at it here and I'm telling you, you know what? I think this thing is going to go back up. So if I'm here and I'm telling you, look, guys, see this? And you see this? This is going to go there and then come down. It dropped a little here. You're going to probably think I'm crazy, right? Look at this sharp move going down. Look at this sharp move going down, and you're telling us it's going to go back to the top. It did it, right? You saw it did it. And that happens day in, day out. And that part was especially for new traders, not for seasoned traders. Seasoned traders know that stuff. That is for new traders watching this. Understand how patterns work. So at some point, this would come back here as a running flat, and then we'll continue to go up. We can look for the sells, and then we can look for the buys. Do you want to buy it at the top there? Maybe if you get a very, very good buy setup. We saw this. This was probably a good one. I don't have a good one here. There was no good buy setup there. As a matter of fact, I thought we'd probably get a sell. This is a good buy. So you have the short-term flat here. See? Broke the top, come down back, give you a flat. It did break the top again, but they're not going. So if they make a flag here, you buy. If this becomes a flag, you buy. If they start to reverse, they've got to do this and then give you a flag for a sell. Right? So right now it's a flag and you buy, or they reverse. It could reverse. See, they broke the top again and they're not going. You're likely going to be looking for downside. Right? When they finish this one, you're expecting this to go, not stop and reverse. So if this comes back lower than that and make a flag, we start selling. It could be the start of the downside because there's a big downside on this as well. US oil. So see this sharp one? We're looking for this to go there, but I said if they break the top, then they come back one more and then they go. This would be the running flat pattern. Come back one more here and then go. A little more down and then you look for the buy. A little more down and I think you start looking for the buy. So we're looking for this. And then it's a buy setup. Natural gas, you're coming down. If you took the sell, good. If you didn't, then just ignore it because you're pretty much going to make a running flat here. Come here and then upside. Very likely you can get one more up. So if you get short-term sell, take them, but then there's a buy setup coming. Okay, so this dropped some more. It actually pulled back from the drop. So this was the sell. I think there were sell setups all along here, and then they pulled back. I hope you got out of that trade if you sell. I know some of my traders were selling yesterday. I hope they got out for profit. That's good. Let's see what happens there. It's just a deeper pullback so far. Nothing else. Here is a long, drawn-out running flat, by the way. See this sharp one? They make a flag, they go, they pull back, they make a running flat here. They go, they make another one here, or this bigger running flat. They go, they make another flat here, they go up, they drop. They go up, break the top, you get a perfect running flat. 1, 2, and now you're coming down. We probably make a bigger consolidation here for downside. I think you're going to probably see a bigger consolidation there, bigger correction within this range here before you drop. Here's 30. This was the only one that was looking upside. And it still looks upside, right? Even if this comes back here, it still looks upside. This is still a buy setup, not a sell setup. As it stands right now, it is still a buy setup. This here, well, we came down deep, but there was a sharp reversal from this point. So this was a good sell. I think you see that sell there. Put it in the hourly. That was a good sell there yesterday. There was a second sell here. Now you might be getting a buy setup here. See this? If they repeat this here, which is what I think you're getting, if they keep doing this, then you have a buy setup. Right? This is your first impulse. That would be a buy setup. Could it also be making a bigger correction for downside? You would only know that if this piece comes very deep. If this piece comes back very deep like this, go back up. Now you will get a sell setup. But for now, if they stay at the top here, you're looking for a buy. DAX. So somebody said you're finally going to get DAX correct. I have no idea what he's talking about because we call this buy. We call this buy. I told you that's a correction for upside. This is a correction for upside. If you don't know, that's a correction for upside. So you can see this, you can see this. This is probably going to come here. You're going to do this. You're going to come back down here and then go. It's going to come back down. You're still in the correction, right? So this didn't go. This one didn't go. This one might not go, but this could just come here, come back like this, and then go. That would eventually go. Did he sell DAX? Well, I hope he got out. Or if he's going to hold it for long term, he might learn something because it's going to go up. Right now, that is still showing upside. We don't have any sell setup, just like this one. This was a short-term sell if you took it. It's still looking upside and it's still probably going to go up a little more. So let's see. At some point, this will start to come down, but I don't think that's how they start to come down. This is not how they start to come down. When the downside started, it's much more aggressive, right? It starts like this. See this? Straight down. This one is going. Right now, it's still consolidating. I still see this as a consolidation. So the chances are this is going to go back up one more, and then you might start to get that drop. So let's see if it's going to be. I don't know. I'm just showing you that they start to go very slow at the top. Do we have a buy setup or a sell setup on the 1 hour? Let's see. On the 1 hour, you're getting a short-term sell setup. You can see that. You saw this, so we were looking for 1, 2, 3. Come break this low. That is here. They broke the low. So they made this one and they broke the low. You might get another one here. Drop one more. If you take the trade, take your profit off very fast. I don't think that's a total drop. I don't see it as a total drop as yet. For that to become the total drop, this thing has got to really drop really far. But if you take the sell and drop really far, good for you. I would assume it's going to drop like this in a short term like this and then go back up. So let's see which one happens. It doesn't matter if you're looking for right now, you're looking for a short-term sell. The bigger picture is upside. So if you get this sell, it's okay. What if you don't get a sell? What if they actually just consolidate here? Then go for the buy. Simple. Aussie 200, let's see. I have to go really fast now. Aussie 200, what is this doing? Okay, you might be looking at some kind of a consolidation here, which is incomplete. They'll have to go back up and then look for the sell. That would be a better flat. Nifty, consolidating. If they consolidate here, you'll get a sell setup. Tesla, that's a surprising drop. I didn't think they were going to go that deep. We look at the corrections, but I don't think that correction is going to come that deep. It came really deep, so if you're going to buy setup now, you can take the trade. If they give you a buy setup here. Right on the pullback, if you end up with a flag here, that would be a buy. Amazon, it's coming down. And I'd leave those arrows to see which one is going to make. Remember, we told you we're going to expect it to come back here. And then from there, we'll go up or they'll go break this low and go up, depending on whether we look at this as the flat in the middle there. Depending on how we look at that piece, a contracting flat or not, then we'll tell you. But there's a number of up and down that I put, and we'll see how they work out. Right. So let's go. That was Amazon. SLR, more downside. It's pulling back, but that's more downside. BA Finance, well, start looking for sell setups already going. So you might see a consolidation here and a drop. It's consolidating right now. Reliance, sell setup. Some people are going for the sell, but you might be waiting for this to do this, go back up there, and then look for the sell. A flat there would be perfect. Bitcoin. Okay, looks like we might be getting a running flat or a flat here. So we've got a sharp pullback, we've got a drop, and you're getting something like this. This looks more downside, but because you've got that sharp wave there, it might still pull back even if they go. But right now, this is looking more downside, this piece. So if you're going to get, if this is going to go back up, you want a flag here before you consider that buy. Most likely, you can see them dropping. And this sell is going to be a good one. So let's see how low this can go. So far, it's going down very nice. So we'll see what it looks like. XRP. We dropped. Expected. Right. Nothing new here. Did we tag the low? See that sell under this low? You should have moved that up to this level because they made a new high. That would have been the sell. But we're going back up. So can we look at this as a contracting flat? See this piece here? Can we look at that as a contracting flat for upside? Let's see the bigger picture and we'll tell you. It's possible. You can possibly look at this as a contracting flat, for upside, which means one more up. So if you get a flag here, you can consider that buy to break this up again, right? Like 1, 2, 3, make another one, go back up there. It's possible. So if you get a flag there, you can consider that buy. Eventually, that would make a big running flat if that's the case. We're already tagging the top. So if they break the top, that would be a big running flat. If it is going to continue to go down, just let it drop and then buy lower. ETH fell off expected. So let's see what happens here. Now you have to see if they're going to consolidate here. There's nothing to do, right? Except wait for this consolidation and then look for sells. LTC, same thing, broke the line. And this now again, you have to be careful. This could be the running flat. See that sharp one? Told you at some point we're going to get a sharp one, right? So now you would look at this as a possible running flat. So if you get a flag here for a buy, that's upside. If they come a little lower, it still could be up because it's still a running flat, right? Very likely a running flat. We're looking at this one. Possibility of this one coming back, maybe a little lower from this point. It could go from that point. It doesn't need to come back lower. So you would have to wait for a 1 hour up move and a 1 hour flag. You don't have it as yet, right? It still looks more downside here. Short term. So at least short term, one piece more, the drop is still there. Can still go more. Let's see the size of this. They don't have to be equal in size, but I'll just put it just average to have a clue how far that could go. It could go much more than this. It could be an expanding flat, which means they go much lower. Pretty much qualifies it to go because they're almost equal size. So they could go up now, or they could come back lower and make a bigger running flat or an expanding flat. So if you get a sell setup, you take it. If you get a flag, you buy. Whichever, both of them. Right now, it's more of a sell setup. I see this more of a sell setup for a drop. The flag means you have to go out of this, make one here, and then go. See? I think it's more of a sell setup. So at least one more sell you can get. Take it, take profit, and see what happens in there. So, okay, guys, I think that's it. I've gone through them. So today I'll follow up with the pound CAD chart, and I will probably post the sell on the which one. I have to remember which one was that. I told you I'm going to put the sell. I think the pound New Zealand. The pound New Zealand. This will be a very short one, couple minutes you can sell. So this will be a sell setup. It's already valid. I don't know if I'm going to be able to post it in time. It might already trigger by the time I already post it. So then that will cancel off. There are a number of trades that might be too late for me to post. But I'll follow up on the pound CAD for you. So read the comments, watch it, make your comments, and continue to watch and share the videos. And I will see all of you. Thank you for being here. Have a great day and trade with care. Thank you. Bye-bye.